telling us about his experiences with the ark, but I'd love to hear your viewpoint.
Well, I didn't grow up following one true God. My family traveled to see the ark like everyone else. We wanted to know what all the fuss was about. It was the biggest thing I have ever seen in my life. Noah told us about the flood. He said we are welcome to come with them on the ark and be safe. So my father chuckled and said, okay, thanks, but no thanks. Then Shem, one of Noah's ark, invited us to stay for dinner. Oh, I tell you, he is the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life. And the nicest too. To make a long story short, my family stayed with them for dinner, but I never left. I helped Noah's wife and I learned how to cook. She was a great chef. And several months later, Shem and I were getting married.
So you didn't stay because Noah was preaching?
Not at first, but time went by and I saw how Noah's family was very loving and kind, and the rest of the world was a real mess. So it seemed reasonable that God needed to do something to clean up the mess.
So what do you do when the animals came?
Well, that's when I knew Noah had to be right. Surely more people would join us now, but as you know, they didn't.
Shem said you were all pretty sad when no one else joined on the ark. Did you come to terms with that?
Well, it took time, but yes, I did. I learned to count my blessings instead. So the rain fell, the earth shook, the water rose, the waves told us about 40 days and 40 nights, and we heard nothing but wind and waves and rain. Those 40 days were really scary too. Sometimes a giant wave would threaten to flip us over. But of course, the ark was very stable since it was built according to God's plan.
I imagine those 40 days were pretty intense.
Oh, I tell you, the clouds and the rain were so heavy and the sky was so dark that we needed oil lamps even in the dark and the nighttime and the daytime. And we stayed on the top deck where the windows were, but we can't see any light. It was almost as bad as having 40 days of night.
So what did you do that whole time?
Well, I didn't do anything. Well, I tried to do something. I fed animals, and I cleaned the stalls, I fixed our food, and washed our clothes. We all had plenty of responsibilities to keep us busy.
Don't sound like much fun. Were you miserable?
Well, I've learned that the way I respond to a situation has more to do with my happiness than the situation itself.
You said a mouthful there. We may not be able to change what happens to us, but we can change our attitude.
That's correct. I sung praises to God while I mapped out stalls, and I figured a way to make baskets from leftover flax stalks. Our God is the God of creation, and He made us in His image. That means that He made us to be creative like He is. If you use your God-given gift for His glory, life is really worth living.
Good. Good point. What did you sing?
Well, one of my favorite songs was the little song that I wrote. It's called Turning Over a New Leaf. Maybe you heard it before. It's been passed down for generations.
I have heard that. You wrote this song? That seems a little unlikely.
Yeah, it's unlikely as my name.
That's interesting. Back to the flood, so it rained 40 days and 40 nights.
Yes, then one day the rain slowed down and stopped. The waves became calm, the clouds drifted away, and the sun shone through at last. That blue sky was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. When I went to feed the lions later that afternoon, I noticed that the male lion's mane was getting matted. So I ran my fingers through the long fur to detangle the knots. Then the lion rolled over on his back for a tummy rub. Oh, this must be what lions were like in the Garden of Eden in heaven.
Sure sounds fun. This is turning out to be not such a bad experience after all. Could you get out of the ark after the rain stopped?
Nope. For 150 days, the ark floated on the water. Sometimes it rained, but never like those 40 days. We caught rainwater in troughs for drinking and washing. And finally, the ark struck land, it felt great not to be rocking anymore. But it was another 2.5 months before the water was finally down, far enough to see the other mountaintops. We had to wait even longer for the water to go down the rest of the way and for the plants to grow enough to feed the animals. That took a year.
Man, I sure hope you didn't have to save up food to keep from running out.
Oh no, of course. We were actually following God's plan, remember?
And God provides. How could I have forgotten? I asked my friend Professor Ross what God does for people after He saves them. This is what she texted back. God provides, and then she added this Bible verse. And my God shall supply all you need according to His riches in glory by Christ Jesus children.
Well, I like those words you said. And I've been hearing about the others about this, what do you call that, cell phone? Cell phone? That you have in your pocket? What is that called?
It's like a cell phone.
Cell phone. Oh, okay. And you also have text, you call it text messages?
Yeah.
Text messages. Okay, but that thing makes no sense to me. Never mind. I'm here to tell you about the flood, and I want to make sure you know the story ends well.
Can't wait to hear about it. We're out of time for now, but I hope you will come back and tell us, oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, save yourself the paper shuffling, okay? I'll just tell you, Noah will be here next time, and I'll give you the joyful ending to our story. And when you get a chance, ask your friend if everyone can have a joyful ending to their own story.
Yeah, I'll tell you that later.
Okay, bye, Bailey. Bye, kids.
Bye.